What's going on YouTube? Another day in the garage. Today's goal is going to be swapping the mounts out of this car from another car that I have. We're going to put the engine down on the ground, get the transmission and everything locked back up. I have new seals for that. We're going to throw into that. I got some little more wiring to do that I forgot to run in the car. I need to add 2 wires for the boost control solenoid. Totally forgot to do that, so I got to do that still. Try to get the inside cleaned up a little bit better. I still need to go through the engine harness, but today Chico's coming over, so I'm going to utilize his help to get the engine down, get that together. I'm not too worried about putting it in the car because I can do that on my own if we don't have time. So far I got the new rear mount installed, swapped over the 2 side mounts. That way the motor has some hold, and pulled off a valve cover off the other one. I'm going to pop it on here. I pulled the shift linkage down, change the shifter, put the plate on, do the wiring that I need to add the 2 wires for the boost controller. Alright. Last time we were working in the garage, I put the transmission onto the single cam and set it off to the side. Chico and I worked on installing his alpha injectors on his intake manifold, so we got that done. We had to do a little bit of customization because they didn't fit exactly how they were supposed to. So we ended up taking like the bottom pieces off. Then I had these collars to take up some space, and now we got some rubber pieces so the collars don't rattle. It was a mess, but they're in, they're on, and I still got to clean the actual intake manifold pieces off. That won't take too long. We also installed the 4-bar map sensor. We installed the AEM FPR. So that's ready to go. I'm waiting on an intake manifold to install that on this thing right here. Chico cleaned up the transmission. This thing was all corroded. I could put a picture here. I swapped out the speed sensor from the older transmission because I broke the speed sensor trying to figure out what gear was in it. Got the oil port. We figured out the oil routing for the turbo. I think I'm going to go ahead and put this motor in the car. I'm going to run the wires that I haven't done yet. First, I'm going to clean up in here because it just kind of got stuff everywhere. Alright, what I've been working on was I ran the wires for the boost control solenoid. I got that all, I didn't wire it into the car just yet, or obviously to the solenoid, but then I started working on the engine harness. That was kind of a rabbit hole, started just cutting things out. It was an automatic harness, so there's a bunch of stuff that we didn't need on this from the automatic transmission, so I cut it all out and cleaned it all up. Went through and butt connected a couple connectors that I didn't do previously. Took all the automatic stuff out of the harness itself, so it's looking pretty good. I might do a little more modification to it once I've got the motor in the car, but right now I'm going to go ahead and leave it as is. Next up, maybe I'll work on putting the motor in the back. Alright, got the engine installed. Previously I had the wrong bolt in here, so now I have a 19mm that's supposed to be there. And there. Now it's lined up pretty easy actually. Didn't have to fight them too hard. I had an issue originally when I was putting this in, but I decided to go ahead and catch the bolt and put it up here and then wiggled it right on. Just coming along. Where I'm at now is I've got the turbo, manifold, downpipe, oil feed, all installed. We ran into an issue with the return on where I put the bung on the pan, so we're ordering different fittings to make that work. The AN line fittings are just too long. It would have like this much hose, and it wasn't going to work, especially with the angle. I got the intake manifold mounted on, finally got the gasket in. I'm getting ready to install the block plug for the catch can. We're also going to do a line off of here to the catch can. We just ordered all those lines and fittings. Those will be here tomorrow. Getting ready to put the alternator back in and do everything on the back side of the motor that I need to do. That way it's done. I gotta go get the radiator still, swap that out. Because we were trying a different manifold, which I screwed up. I ordered a T25 instead of a T3, T4. And we decided that since what we have will work with just modifying the downpipe, I'm gonna have a buddy of mine modify the downpipe once we're there. It will bolt on for now, as is. I mean, it's got a flex pipe on it, so we'll just bend it and we'll bolt it on. It is what it is. Otherwise, that's about it. Compressor's on, alternator's on,
AC lines are bolted on. Block plugs in. That was a pain in the butt to get in. I ended up putting fitting on it and shoving it on. The only thing left is wire harness, radiator, and obviously the radiator hoses. I've already got all the heater hoses attached. Getting there. Tomorrow, hopefully, will be the big bulk of things. I still have to wire in the gauges on the inside, do the computer, switch the tune over. Still got to change the shifter on the linkage. That's it. The side here, kind of just clean it up, put it back together. I know Chico's excited to get this thing cranking and going. And it's going to leave it off for right now. Till next time.